pull-ups to the catcher. Gives you an idea of how unbelievable he was. And he is standing by with Ken Rosenthal.
Thanks, Kevin. Corey, at times tonight you looked unhittable. You did some historic things. Scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your stuff?
You know, I had a good fastball night. I located it well. The breaking stuff wasn't really there. For the majority of the game, I was kind of feeling for it, but, you know, Roberto did an unbelievable job of kind of recognizing what was working for me and kind of going with that. Coming into the 7th inning at 85 pitches, what was your understanding at that point about how long you would go? Oh, I mean, I was just going until Tito came out to get me. I mean, that's my approach every game, is to, you know, go out there and get as many outs as I can until he comes and gets me. And when he does, you know, that's when my night's over. All right, you watch Miller escape a bases loaded, none out jam. What was it like seeing him do that? Yeah, I mean, that was a huge point in the game right there, because, you know, bases loaded, nobody out. That's a good spot for the offense to be in right there. And, you know, 3 runs could have turned into a lot less in a hurry. But I mean, that's what he's done for us since he's been here. He's put out fires, and, you know, he's unbelievable. Hey, this was your first start in a week, only your 4th start in a month. How comfortable would you be starting Game 4 on 3 days rest if they asked you? I mean, we'll talk about it with Tito tomorrow, and I mean, whenever they feel like it's the best for the team for me to pitch, I'm fine with that. Corey, thanks very much. Back to you.
Kenny, Corey, thanks. Fans fired up. Indians take Game 1 6-0, so they've got a right to be excited, even though it's freezing cold here in Cleveland. You know, and it is interesting in the sense of, Frank, if they do plan on going Kluber to, you know, 3 days rest for Game 4, and then again if there is a Game 7, that does change the thinking a little bit for the Cubs, I would think.
It does, Kevin. But first, I want to say, I hate to see him if his breaking stuff wasn't working tonight.
That's true.
That was total domination. I was like, the guy was magnificent tonight. I mean, every corner that was hit possible was hit tonight by Corey Kluber. He was in Cy Young form, so sorry, Corey. I thought you had everything working tonight. I'm sure the Cubs did too. But you know, as what you said earlier, the Cubs. I mean, the Cubs, they got their work cut off. This is not an easy Cleveland team.
Yeah.
They have played some really tough baseball all year long against some big hitting ball clubs. So all they can do now is try to find a way to sneak one tomorrow, because you don't want to go back to regularly 2-0.
Can he repeat that so people can hear him? Will you hold the microphone up to your mouth?
Get out of here. They can hear me. I talk loud.
Don't you know anything about TV?
I talk loud, Petey.
Alex, will you help this kid out?
He's doing great.
It's 12 degrees out here,
everything we get to the point of our show where Pete is giving us tips on how to run the show.
Man, come on, guys.
Hold the mic up.
I'm the oldest guy. I got the most experience.
So how about Lester in this? Pete, you brought it up. So Lester, look, the Cubs had their guy. His World Series record impeccable. I mean, 3-0, an ERA of .4, right? And it was kind of a strange first inning, because they get Lindor on, he steals, then a couple walks, he had Guy or 0-2, and then he hits him. It was a weird one, but Cleveland took advantage of it.
Well, anytime you walk 2 and hit one in 1 inning, you're going to give up some runs. And believe it or not, Lester settled down after that.
He did.
He pitched a real good ball game. I got to ask you a question, A-Rod. Your boy, Andrew,
Yeah.
I don't think he had his best stuff tonight. Do you?
You know, I thought he was okay. He's spoiled us all. You know, and one thing about it, he hasn't pitched in 6 days.
Okay.
And the other thing for me, he just ran out of bullets. He got out of that bases loaded jam. He emptied the bag. I was surprised that Tito brought him out for 1 more inning.
And also, we saw him warm up for 2 innings. You know, he said, I hit this cold weather for 2 innings. Might not help in this weather tonight for him.
46 pitches for Miller. It's the most he threw all year. And the most, by the way, in back-to-back games for him came in September. He threw 56 pitches in back-to-back games. You know, so here is Lester. And just frustrated with Larry Vanover with the strike zone here. Alex, this is what's going on.
You know, what I saw in John Lester, and I faced him an awful lot over the years, he just never looked comfortable tonight. He looked like he was facing 3 opponents. The base runners, the hitter, and Larry Vanover behind the plate. They never got quite in sync. You saw them have a conversation in between innings. He just seemed very frustrated.
Alex, watching that game tonight, can you tell me what the strike zone is for some of these umpires? I don't know what the strike zone is.
It was erratic.
Inside, outside, up, down. It's all over the place.
I thought Miller had a couple.
I don't know how these guys hit, Frank. You got to know the strike zone to be able to hit.
Well, Larry's been in the league for a while. He is known as one of the umpires that he's a little tight early in the game to let the offense get going, but he tightens up later in the ball game. But a game of this magnitude, with the top pitchers in the game, you got to call the corners. If not, it can be a long night for certain pitchers.
You know, this is, I believe, Larry Vanover's 24th year. I believe this is his first World Series. But I got to tell you, I like him as a lot as an umpire. He's always been a hitter's umpire, and he's got a very tight zone.
All right, so Indians do their thing, starting pitching, relief. Miller did his thing. He's so hard to score against, but there were some good at-bats, and we have some thoughts on the Cubs' approach to Miller when we come back. We'll also hear from him. Ken Rosenthal will catch up with Andrew Miller. Another 2 shutout innings out of that Indian bullpen. So tough. Cleveland doing it with pitching all postseason long. You know what? They got some hitting tonight, too. How about 2 home runs from that man, Roberto Perez? 6-0 Tribe in game number 1 here in cold Cleveland. But they're warm. These fans are warm. I'll tell you that. They're warm in the fight.
Pac-12 Titans draw a line in the sand on College Football Saturday on FS1. Heisman candidate Jake Browning and the 4th-ranked Huskies will take the fight to Troy Williams and the 17th-ranked Utah Utes. Saturday, Washington, Utah at 3:30 Eastern on FS1.
Have you ever had a vacuum in your car that you fell in love with? Well, you're about to.
Current owners or lessees of FCA or competitive vehicles finance and get $2,000 total cash allowance on the all-new Chrysler Pacifica.
Real people, steel people. From full-time professionals to weekend warriors, they trust steel and servicing steel dealers. Right now, hardworking steel blowers start at $139.95 and get the powerful MS-250 chainsaw at a special price of $299.95. Find your steel dealer at steeldealers.com or search STIHL. Real people, steel people. Join us.
I don't want to live with the uncertainties of Hep C.
Or wonder whether I should seek treatment. I am ready.
Because today, there's Harvoni, a revolutionary treatment for the most common type of chronic hepatitis C. Harvoni is proven to cure up to 99% of patients who've had no prior treatment. It transformed treatment as the first cure that's 1 pill once a day for 12 weeks. Certain patients can be cured with just 8 weeks of Harvoni. Harvoni is a simple treatment regimen that's been prescribed to more than 250,000 patients. Tell your doctor if you've had a liver transplant, other liver or kidney problems, HIV, or any other medical conditions, and about all the medicines you take, including herbal supplements. Taking amiodarone with Harvoni may cause a serious slowing of your heart rate. Common side effects of Harvoni may include tiredness, headache, and weakness.
I am ready to put Hep C behind me.
I am ready to be cured.
Are you ready? Ask your Hep C specialist if Harvoni is right for you.
Welcome back to the postgame show presented by Lethal Weapon on Fox. A big night in Cleveland, that's for sure. Right next door at the Q, it was the Cavaliers getting their championship rings. They raised the banner, the Raptors, of course, title, the win over the Golden State, first time in franchise history. Cavs obliterated the Knicks in the season opener tonight. And then across the street, a good night for these Cleveland Indians and the fans excited. A game 1 win, a game 1 shutout for the Tribe. 6-0 in the final score. Welcome back to our show here on FS1. Frank Thomas, Pete Rose, Alex Rodriguez, and I'm Kevin Burkhardt. If you missed the game, now we got some highlights for you. Why don't we catch you up on what you missed tonight? You missed a great pitching performance by Corey Kluber, I can tell you that. So it is game 1. And the Indians at home. Both these teams with the big droughts. We just show you the Cavs right next door. Big night. People fired up. Downtown rocking. Here's Kluber. Just amazing. He's been great all playoffs. What do you do with that? Russell, Fowler, Chris Bryant.
Woo. Breaking ball wasn't sharp.
First, yeah, exactly. First pitcher in World Series history with 8 strikeouts through 3. 4th inning. Here is Roberto Perez. I thought he was a light-hitting catcher.
That's what we heard. We thought he was a backup guy. This guy came to play tonight.
Well, if that one didn't go out, it would have went through the wall.
2 big home runs.
7th inning, Andrew Miller, after a walk and a hit against Miller, he's going to get out of his own jam. He gets Ross on the check swing.
David Ross.
On Miller, even when he's a smidge off, you can't get him. And then the top of the 8th, another jam, and Schwarber, who had a great at-bat and walked. Good at-bat here, but he gets him. Fired up as Miller.
Struck out twice. I thought he struck out 3 times, but I'll take my hat off to him.
Then it's Perez going deep off Rondon, a 3-run shot. Roberto Perez is Babe Ruth.
Tonight he hit like your former teammate, Tony Perez.
Wow.
Oh, there you go.
Boy.
Andrew Miller, in a single postseason, has now struck out 24 batters. 24. Wow.
That's all?
It's only game 1. And he is with Ken Rosenthal to talk about it.
Thanks, Kevin. Andrew's 7th inning. You gave up the walk to Schwarber, then the hit to Baez, loaded the bases, none out. How did you navigate through that inning?
You know, trust our defense, trust our catcher. I think, it started off, facing a guy that hadn't hit in a while that put together a really good at-bat. He's not showing any rust. So, nobody ever said it was going to be easy. And I think, Fortune was able to make some pitches and hold him there. It wasn't, how I draw it up, but it worked out.
How much of a battle was it for you tonight, both those innings?
It wasn't easy, and I don't think it looked that way. It certainly didn't feel that way. And, I don't expect it to be. I think I can be sharper. I'd like to come out and, command a little bit better. I think I had some chances to execute some pitches that, I just missed with. And, these guys are good. They're here for a reason. It's not going to be, it's not going to be a walk in the park. But I think, get a chance to get some sleep, and I'll be ready to go.
Now, you threw 46 pitches, most you've thrown in a game all season. I know you're going to say you'll be ready to go tomorrow. But how much might this affect you?
I wouldn't miss these for the world. I think I'm going to give every last drop, and, I think Tito knows that. I think, like I said, today wasn't pretty, but I found a way to get through it, and, it's all hands on deck. I think everybody's giving everything they have, and, I'll take care of the training room tomorrow. We'll knock out some, some soreness and, some wear and tear, and, I'll be ready to go.
Andrew, last question. You guys are 8-1 in the postseason. How are you doing it?
It's just a great team. It's a lot of fun to be a part of. We have a long ways to go. We like winning at home, but we had Corey Kluber on the mound. He's as good as they come, and it's going to be tough playing at home. We've played really well, and I think it's a tribute to the fans and the atmosphere here. But I think we've got a long ways to go, and we're going to grind it out.
Andrew, thanks very much. Kevin, back to you.
Kenny, thanks. Andrew, thanks. Couple things. First of all, Andrew Miller with that beard looks like he should be in the Revenant. I mean, I feel like he's got that.
See how you look with a beard, man? You look good.
I think
we're Yankees. We're not allowed.
You were Yankees. You are allowed.
Are you making fun of me?
No, that would never happen. Not on this show. So Andrew Miller, first of all, let's just talk about him in general. He's been your guy. I can't wait to see the sit-down you had with him today. Even when he's a smidge off, even when the Cubs take some good at-bats, gets out of it, man. Bases loaded. He gets a couple big strikeouts. I don't know how you score against this guy.
He is the magician, Kevin, and that's a sign of a great pitcher, not having your great stuff and still getting out of stuff. But today, 46 pitches. Frank, I thought you brought up a great point in the pregame. When you have a weapon, a lethal weapon, like Andrew Miller, you're tempted to overuse him.
Well, what I saw tonight is he got up twice in the bullpen, lingering just in case there was any trouble. It might have hurt him in this cold weather. Tonight is probably the coldest night of the year in baseball in the last 4 or 5 months. But Andrew Miller showed me something. Bases loaded with no outs. To get this big strikeout, the Cubs didn't do anything. I thought they would at least get a run. The only at-bat in that scenario that I was a little disappointed was with Wilson Contreras coming off the bench, a hot hitter, and maybe he wasn't warmed up enough or whatever, but in that situation, he's got to come off the bench ready to do some damage with no outs and the bases loaded.
Bases loaded, 2 outs, 3-1 on David Ross. How about that pitch he threw?
To me, that's a Hall of Fame pitch. That tells you what a great pitcher Andrew Miller is. 3-1 breaking ball strike.
Right in. Perfect, too. And more on that in a second, because I want to talk to Tom Verducci. Let's bring him in from the field. Tom, welcome. Kluber, I don't know what you could say. He in the interview earlier with Kenny, he said that his breaking stuff wasn't on. I'd hate to see if it was. I mean, Tom, can you hear us, bud?
Yeah, with Corey Kluber, maybe his breaking stuff wasn't on, guys. But the story of this game to me was his fastball command, especially movement. You're talking about someone combining elite velocity with elite movement, and that's how you get 6 shutout innings. Kluber had 24 called strikes in this game. 24, that's the most he's ever had when pitching 6 or fewer innings. Yes, the strike zone was a little bit wide, But look at all the fastballs he threw. That 90% of the distance to home plate were out of the strike zone and would finish in the strike zone. So to me, you have to look at Corey Kluber. Yes, he maybe didn't have his best breaking ball, but to me, when you're able to throw 94 with ridiculous movement like that, that's where you're going to get so many called strikes, and he did that tonight.
Tom, appreciate that. Yeah, we'll have to see if he can, get his stuff back. I mean, it was so terrible.
You know what he had tonight, Kev?
Yeah, Pete.
He had a 95, 96 mile-an-hour fastball, but it moved like Greg Maddox's ball used to move. It moved, a foot and a half. That's a tough pitch to handle.
Pete, what's telling about that is, and Kevin, we were talking about it in the green room, left-handed hitters were jumping out of the way, and the ball was ending up in the outside part of the plate. That's how much movement he had.
I think Tom said this during the game, Frank. I thought it was interesting. A lot of guys' two-seamer is kind of their sinker. His two-seamer kind of is like the opposite of a slider. Kind of floats the other way. It's a little different, right?
It's a different pitch, but I want to go back to what I've been hearing all year long from a lot of great right-handed hitters. They said the death on his breaking ball it's like an alien pitch. They said it breaks it breaks so hard and so vicious that it's really, really tough to know if it's a breaking ball or a slider. And this is why this guy's great. He's been great for years. I think this guy has got a lot to prove the rest of the World Series, because I don't know if I'm going to use him 2 more times, but that's what Tito's going to do. In a series like this, you got to be careful with an arm like that.
Game 1 to the Klubot, that's for sure. He looked every bit of the part of the robot, Terminator, cyborg that he is. 6 innings, outstanding, 9 strikeouts. Indians take it 6-0, the shutout over the Cubbies. It was so good for Cleveland and their fans. He even got a marriage proposal. Pete, they want you to do the wedding. Don't do it! It's too late. Pete, are you going to do the wedding?
Oh, ain't that great. Oh, my gosh. Congratulations.
What a fantastic evening.
Ain't that great.
Pete seems emotional.
So cold.
It's cold out here, Pete.
Look, if I get this sequence wrong, if I make one mistake, this whole place is... Wait a minute. That's Skip Bayless?
Here we go.
The expert who said the Cowboys are going to the Super Bowl.
Look, this year the offense keeps the defense off the field. Zeke wins Rookie of the Year behind the best line in football. The Cowboys feast on the NFC leads. They're going to the Super Bowl, and you're about to blow up. Horrible clock management.
Undisputed with Skip and Shannon. Weekdays only on FS1.
Upgrade your phone system and learn how you could save at Vonage.com/business.
Game of the week, the Packers face off with the Falcons. It's a full day of NFL action on Fox.
You have a vision. It's why you can see what others can't. You know what you want, and we can help you get it. Want a card that pops? Try a brilliant finish with a signature paper. It's all absolutely guaranteed. Because you have a vision, and we have your card. Get 250 specialty cards with a brilliant finish and a signature paper. Now for just $29.99. Enter TV250 at Vistaprint.com.
With Custom Ink, you can design custom t-shirts and other great products for every occasion. From the first day of school to game day and everything in between. With the best collection of styles and graphics to choose from, it's easy to go online and create custom t-shirts and more for all of life's events. Get free shipping and on-time delivery, guaranteed. Go to customink.com to get started today.
Now the 2-2. Swung on and blasted. Deep left field. Away, back, gone. Roberto Perez in his first World Series game. 2 home runs, 4 RBIs, and a mob scene in the third base dugout.
Hey, a reminder, a change of time due to weather for Tuesday's World Series coverage. Everything's moved up an hour. We're supposed to get heavy rain late in the evening. So a 6 Eastern pregame show on FS1. We'll move it to 6:30 then on Fox as we continue with our hour leading up to first pitch at 7 Eastern on Fox. Game 2, Jake Arrieta versus Trevor Bauer. And there we go for tomorrow. We've got more to do on our postgame show tonight, though. First, the Indians shutout winners over the Cubs 6-0. We'll have an interesting take on our From the Vault segment. We'll get Frank an electric blanket. Who knows what can happen next? We're back.
You come at the team you best not miss. Conflict draws people in. Culture of winning matters. We're watching a revolution.
Speak for yourself. Weekdays at 5 Eastern on FS1.
Every team trains hard. Every team prepares to win. But when U.S. Army soldiers take the field, it's best if the other guys don't bother showing up. See if you have what it takes at GoArmy.com/team.
Are you single?
Yes.
What are you looking for?
You know, not just a first date and gone, maybe a second date.
Match leads to more second dates than any other app.
I'll have to join Match, I guess.
Match. Start for free today.
This $6.99 any deal is too good to be true. 2 medium pizzas with any toppings, any crust, any recipe, no questions asked. Well, I got some questions. Does that include meat lovers?
Yeah.
Are you a hologram?
What?
The $6.99 any deal. Is it proof that no one out pizzas the hut?
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
The day after chemo, you could be home with your support system. Here, here, and here with Neulasta Onpro.
Strong chemo can put you at risk for infection. In a key study, Neulasta reduced the risk of infection from 17% to 1%, a 94% decrease. Apply the day of chemo. Neulasta Onpro is designed to automatically deliver Neulasta the next day without returning to the doctor just for a Neulasta shot. Neulasta is for certain cancer patients receiving strong chemotherapy. Do not take Neulasta if you're allergic to Neulasta or Neupogen, filgrastim. Ruptured spleens, sometimes fatal, as well as serious lung problems, allergic reactions, kidney injuries, and capillary leak syndrome have occurred. Report abdominal or shoulder tip pain, trouble breathing, or allergic reactions to your doctor right away. In patients with sickle cell disorders, serious, sometimes fatal crises can occur. The most common side effect is bone and muscle ache.
Talk to your doctor about Neulasta Onpro.
Where there is light, there is shadow.
Danger. He senses danger.
Something is stalking our city.
Whatever it is, it must be stopped. It could mean war. Contain this.
How about let another one die?
Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Rated PG-13. Experience it in IMAX.
Game 1 of the 2016 World Series on Fox. That is a hit. 1-0 Indians in the first. Struck him out. World Series history. Here's a shot into left. And gone. Home run. Roberto Perez. 3-0 Cleveland on top. Bases are loaded with 2 out. Went around, struck him out. Inning over. High fly ball into left. At the wall. Goodbye. 6-0. The 2-2. Indians win game 1.
That's a Game 1 looked on social media, and so now we turn our attention to Game 2 Wednesday night. That's when everything's moved up an hour because of the weather. I said Tuesday earlier. So Arrieta and Bauer are the starters. What are your initial thoughts on Game 2, Alex?
You know, for the Cubs offense, it continues to be tough on them to hit tight breaking balls. It wasn't the first 2 series. To me, Pete, it's going to be interesting how they bounce back and hit against Bauer, who throws his breaking balls 50% of the time.
You're absolutely right, A-Rod. The last 7 games, the Cubs have been shut out 3 times.
Yeah.
They got to get that offense going to get it going consistently.
I like when you agree with me, Pete.
I do agree with you. You're my man.
It's got to be about offense tomorrow for the Cubs if they're going to go home 1-1. If not, they can easily go back 2-0 with this Cleveland Indian pitching staff who throws a lot of breaking balls.
We'll see if they get going against this tough pitching staff for Cleveland. All right, our latest edition of one of our fun segments, From the Vault. What do we have in the vault tonight? We never know.
And this just in, you can get up to an extra $500 factory bonus cash at Pine Belt Nissan. That sucked. In Altima Rogue, Mikey will hook you up, you know what I'm saying? Right now at Pine Belt, you can take advantage of great offers on a brand new ATS. Put the power of Pine Belt Nissan to work for you. Try again. Put the power of Pine Belt Nissan to work for you. Okay. So put the power of Pine Belt Cadillac to work for you.
There is our quarterback, Mr. Kevin.
Stay away from the green screens, man. They come back to haunt you every time.
Look at that shot.
That's beautiful.
After that, they ought to give away Cadillacs.
Well, guys, it's been fun. I had earned your trust until that, and now...
Mikey!
Hey, listen, I sold cars in Jersey. You know what I'm saying? This is what we do. We talk with our hands, all right? By the way, if you want an Altima, call me. I'll hook you up.
What are you laughing at, Beer Man?
Hey,
Beer Man.
exactly. Look at your vault.
I'm just glad I can laugh with someone now.
Look. Hey, there's Alex.
Whoa.
He sold cars, too.
What's your new job?
What else we got from the vault? Oh, Frankie. Fox Sports Motors. That's a heck of a jacket.
Was that an Auburn?
I use cars now.
You didn't cut me in tonight. You let me out. I'm colder than anybody because I'm older.
Sandy Alomar.
Ooh, Roberto Alomar.
Pete, now would be time I take some of that Aqua Velva if you have it.
Carlos Baerga.
Carlos Baerga.
See you tomorrow.
Albert Bell.
Holy cow.
Jeb Tomey.